put the results in, put the work in to get the results that you want. So I may not be able to formulate it in the way that a man does, but I'm always pushing that you have a purpose, that life is only like, if you want a certain result, if you want to craft your happiness, if you want opportunities, you're the one that has to go out and get them. And I talked to him about having a wife and about sex and as much as I can. And it's weird, but I know that a woman's ability to show a man how to be a man has
Wait,
limitations.
someone does have feedback right now. Is someone have their StreamYard in their YouTube open? Because it is feedback right now. Let me see.
Have her try it again.
MRM is muted. Let me see. Yeah, okay, go ahead and talk now.
It's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's like a
Should I turn off my YouTube?
Yeah, you gotta turn off your YouTube. Leave on your StreamYard and turn off your YouTube.
Okay. Okay.
Your
How's
YouTube
that?
off? Yeah, that should be good. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. You good. You're freezing a little bit, but you're good.
Still a little. You know, and that's why it's so important for our men to show our men how to be men. I have my limitations, but I know that I want my sons to be on their purpose and go-getters. Go around those boys. Go ahead. Woohoo! You know, I'm not gonna, you know, sometimes women, they can grab you by the balls and keep you there and want to control, and the moms do that, and they really don't push their sons to the maximum capacity of their potential because they're so worried. You know how you get a mother, you try to hold on to them, you don't let them be who they're supposed to be, you don't let them be men. And we were talking about how in these men's spaces, like the manosphere, we kind of just want to come in and infiltrate, when you should just let the men be men. They don't need us to be better. They don't need us for directing. They don't need us for those things. They don't need us to know how to be a man. They should already know that, like you said, on your purpose, having your money right and all this stuff. But I don't know what's wrong, but we just have the need because we're probably, you know, want to be nosy, and we're attracted to this, and we're attracted to the masculinity that we just mosey on over in these spaces and, like, you know, put our 2 cents in, when actually fall back and let the men do what they need to do so that we can be a better community, you know, and just fall back, and we'll be a benefit of it, but we have to let them do what they need to do first.
No doubt.
Which is be a man.
Hey, listen, if y'all would, mods, if y'all put Daryl's chat in the chat room, if y'all put Wife School podcast stream in the chat room, and if y'all put my boy Modern Renaissance Man
I can do
link in the chat room, you know what I'm saying? Also, if y'all are I see we're simulcasting, so if y'all are viewing, I'm Israel Mills 4183. If you all would subscribe to my channel, if you're not subscribed already, welcome everybody. We appreciate y'all coming. So what we're doing is we're reviewing a video from the Man Mindset show that they did Saturday, also known as Real Game No Theory. And this is just talking about women do it, why can't we? Okay. And so is that a weak mindset modern men must stop? That's the question. So let's go for it. What's going on, brother Israel? Let's go for it, and let's see what we can do. All right. Listen, if y'all want your comments highlighted in red over on this side of things, if you hit the Cash App, $ Israel Mills, I will highlight and read your comments all stream long throughout the stream. All right. And it's up there on the screen. Let's go forward.
As a boss, why would I try to equate myself to you as the employee and act like that makes any fucking sense? Nah, as a leader, what I want is the right way. I created this company. We have a mission statement. We have a goal. We have things that we're trying to achieve as a company. So therefore, the company has been in existence and it's been successful before you got here. So how come all of a sudden, as soon as you get here, as soon as the female gets here, all of a sudden I have to question what I want? You see what I'm saying? As soon as the female gets here, I have to question the fact that I want things to be a certain fucking way. Nah, man, take pride in how you want things. You understand? Nigga, if you an old nigga and you like to put creases in your jeans, nigga, then put creases in your jeans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Tell the niggas at the cleaners to put extra starch in your shit and put creases in your goddamn jeans, because that's the way.
Excuse the colorful language over on Modern Renaissance side of things. I apologize for the colorful language over here. You know, some people do use very colorful language to describe. Trust me, these are intellectual people. They do have intellect and they do have things and vocabulary. They can enunciate, they can articulate at the same time. Sometimes curse words are their words of choice. So forgive them and please just take the message, leave the messenger. Thank you.
Fuck what everybody else think. Do what the hell you got to do. So I just need guys to not be afraid to have a program, not be afraid to have a protocol. Understand that what you want it should be celebrated simply because you want it.
So I remember my pops told me, he was like, he said, when you care about what a woman thinks, your standard is going to be from that woman. Right. And I think that's a huge problem a lot of times, right? Like what did my boy Pretty Tony say? He said, man, don't be a rest haven for these hoes. And if you look at a lot of these podcast people, and I'm going on them real quick, because like I don't even remember the last time. I literally can't. The last time I argued with a woman. Like literally, like I can't even remember a time that I've argued with a woman, and it had to be when I was in my 20s. Once you understand the game, once you understand who you are in self, you never need to validate yourself to a woman ever, or anybody for that matter. But really, we're talking about the woman. He immediately, after she said what she said, which didn't matter, after she said what she said, he immediately equated the fact that, oh, well, when we say what we say about women, so it's like always this tit for tat,
right,
from these podcasters and men in general. Like, I'm not gonna lie, these males in general, they always want to be tit for tat. What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? There's always going to be, for instance, where there's going to be leverage for either gender. It's just it's the society in the world is built like.
Shout out to my boy, Mr. 1950. Yo, salute to 1950 over there. Y'all check Mr. 1950 out. Definitely was killing it. And that's a fact. So if you're new to this stream, what we were talking about was there was a clip in which a woman was talking about how she wants a man essentially to follow the guidelines and be like that to which she saw her father. Her father was a provider. Her father was a strong man, and she wanted a man like that. So immediately a young man said, well, why is it a problem when it's my mother? I want you to follow and be like my mother. And so that's the premise to which we're coming from. So to bring y'all up to speed. What say y'all on what 1950 was talking about, you guys?
The way I look at it is, and I said this earlier, bro. Well, maybe I didn't say this earlier, but I meant this on a different podcast on your show. Men want to be treated like women, and I'm only saying it like that because the regular way I say it is a talking point from a person that you don't like, right? So I'm not even gonna go down that lane. But what they want to do is, the men want to be treated like women, and you can't dominate that way. You cannot dominate that way. I used to hate when the men say, well, Daryl, you sent for the women. Why don't you sit for the men? I said, so you want me, just so I'm clear, you want me to treat you like I treat the ladies, right? So I'm supposed to buy you roses too, right? I'm supposed to pour you, like, come on, like, I'm supposed to open the door when when you riding with me too, right? The men want to be treated like women, and that's why I never liked. I always felt like men, even with the accountability, right? Well, if you hold them accountable, you got to hold like us accountable. If you hold the men accountable, you got to hold the women accountable. I will, but the accountability won't be the same, right? It'd be a difference if Wife School walk up on me and slap me versus if Chris walk up on me and slap me. I will treat those two things differently instantly just because she a woman. I might give her a pass. Shorty, you tripping. You just walk away now, right? You done got me excited. Right? I'm gonna go smoke. But Chris hit me, or you know what I'm saying, modern Renaissance. If wife school will smack you and punch you in the face or something like that, that's different from me or Israel or any random man doing it. Most men are going to respond completely different, especially in my city.
Yeah, no doubt. I would never try to strike a modern Renaissance man because that sounds like
emotional damage. Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
You want some therapy?
No, MRM in shape too. I saw him benching like 300 pounds on Instagram.
And no telling. MRM might have been benching a little building. You know what I'm saying? Because he is a superhero, so there's no telling what he was doing or where he was doing it at. You know,
y'all crazy.
What you want to say on that, MRM?
Yeah, to what the guy was saying, I'm totally with that right there. When him talking about, in which he is kind of funny that he came up and he said that, because that's literally what I just got done saying about me teaching our young mentees to know who they are and know how to move as men and know how they're supposed to be on the intellectual level, to have a superior mindset. Because when that man sat there and said, I'm not about to sit here and like argue with no woman, I'm like, on an intellectual level, because some women might take offense to this, it's the equivalence of a child. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with a child who has no understanding of where I'm going, who has no understanding of the level of intellect that I'm at right now. So why would I even try to go back and forth with this kid? And this might sound harsh, but that's a lot of things that a lot of folks need to understand about that with women, especially if you're trying to get in a relationship, whatever like that. If they don't understand the level of intellect that you have and where you're going and what you've already maybe have established, I'm not going to argue with them. And that's why when I say with our kids, we mentor, that's why we have all men doing it. Even when the women say, hey, I got a suggestion. No, they get upset. Oh, well, this is working perfectly fine. We have a crazy almost 100% graduation rate. We got like a 80% rate of them going into school or a trade. I don't want anything else y'all want to try to add to it, because apparently the reason your child is here is because apparently you're not doing something right. So when it comes to that, no, we got this. But I mean, you don't want to see it from a woman's perspective. No, they get upset and I leave it at that. I don't give no explanation. I just go, no. Well, I mean, that's just messed up. Okay, be messed up. You'll get over it. They don't like that, you know. But again, I'm not going to waste my time trying to explain and argue why we're doing things the way we're doing it if it's working out and going great like it is. So I just tell them I'm not about to argue with you. Or I'm just saying, okay, all right, yeah, okay, all right. Well, see, that's what you just think that you, okay, all right. I just going about my business. Leave it alone.
So
easy.
With your mentoring program, right? I think I heard you mention this before, but when the people try, yo, what's up, Sway Producing? What's up, Jordan Landry? Everybody in the building. What's going on? The outside bat, Ronnie. What's going on? Shaq Channel 415. What's good? Hey, so with your mentoring program, a lot of times you will boot people out or not work with people if they're giving too much pushback or if they're giving too much feedback and won't really listen, correct?
Yes. And that's one of the things that I get a lot of heat for when I do these little speaking engagements with the Black community, because a lot of people don't like it. But I've done this for so long that I know, and I'm not going to waste my time with certain individuals. And the pushback is not even like pushback and saying, hey, I'm just trying to say, I want to ask you a question. It's more or less of, it can be a numerous thing. You think you all that. You think because you came, blah, blah, you think because you in medicine, or you think because you got this amount of money. You think that, no, see, I'm not going to get into with people like that who has no idea what I've gone through and what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So when I say there's some that we get from that, we boot from that, it is the ones that when they go home with their child, right? And all of a sudden they go, I don't care what Mr. Ty say, he don't and you ain't going. And then that kid will come right back in there. And once I start to see that same type of attitude coming out of them that I know they getting from their mama, I'll go talk to the mom like, hey, we're going to let Dante out of here. Well, what for? Because Dante is coming in, he's bucking up, he's talking back, and he only started doing that within the last week or so. He has not been doing it for the past like awesome month. And I do notice that after I had a conversation with you and I shut down what you want to suggest, all of a sudden he's coming in with attitude. So I know that you're filling his head with stuff at home. Otherwise, he's never act like that towards me or any of the men in here. So he's getting that from you. But it's just that you, okay, well, I hate this because you don't have no idea how you're getting ready to damage your child and send him on a different trajectory. But understand this, it's not mine or none of these men fought in here. that's your fault because you are the one that's doing this to your son. So y'all be blessed. If you want to change things up, you know where to find us. That's it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And that's some man stuff. Listen, you have to be unapologetically a man. Stand for what you stand for. Stand on what you stand on, and don't waver and don't move. And a lot of times it's not popular and it doesn't sound good. At the same time, it be the best thing for the people who's in your life and the best thing for the people who's connected to you. Because one thing for sure, a man, and again, we're not talking about big males. We're not just talking about males. We're talking about men. A man is going to look out for the best interest of everybody in this situation. That's just what men do. We look out for the best interest of everybody in this situation, not just our own best interest, not just what we want, not just how we feel. Hey, shout out to Nightish. What's going on? Shout out to Paul Gaines. How you doing? Go ahead, MR. Do you want to say something else?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, and that's the whole issue of it is that when you know this and you're moving like this, and they hate it, but I have to help people with the understanding, like what you just said. I got to help them. They're gonna come and call you cocky and all the whole thing you want. That is their rebuttal. That's the only defense they got because they have nothing intellectually to say against what you are putting out. The only thing is you think you all that. Okay, all right. Oh yeah, you think because you okay, you ain't nothing. You ain't nigga. You still okay. All right. When you do that and you respond and you don't give them what they're trying to get out of you, it makes them that much more frustrated. And that's why I call them on an intellectual level. You're winning. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not upset. I'm cool. All right. They're the one. And you and I don't care. My son, he's gonna be okay. Great. I hope he does.
Good luck.
Don't nobody need this goddamn program. All right, maybe your son don't, but hey, you can find a better one. Let me know about it because maybe some of them can help some of the kids we got. But I appreciate it. You mother, see, steady. I'm being cool as all get up. But again, the reason why, and I say this all the time, if I know my enemy on an intellectual level, if I know my enemy, I know their arsenal, I know what weapons they're going to use, I know what tactics they're going to use, I know all these things about my enemy. If I end up letting them get the best of me, that's my fault because I already know what everything they're working with, so it's easy. So,
hey, shout out to you, Mark. Is that Burchett? Hey, shout out to you, sir. He said I've lived this way for almost 60 years and will continue to. No doubt about that. Salute. Men do not engage. That's right. The Gray Pill podcast. That's right. Hey, so let's go ahead. We're gonna go a little further. Again, this is a review of the stream. It was on Sunday. Shout out to the Man Mindset, also known as Real Game No Theory. This is Steve the Dean Williams. This is Mr. 1950, Mr. Lucario, Miles Cunningham, and Zag on this particular video. So shout out to y'all brothers. Shout out to 1950 who's speaking now.
But that doesn't mean you need to operate like that in your own life, in your world. In my world, shit runs my way.
Right.
Everything that I want is the way that I want it. And a lot of you men out there, you look at us and you are saying, I don't believe it. Let me get receipts. Because when you ask for a receipt, what you're saying is you don't believe this lifestyle exists because it's so far away from my lifestyle.
That's real shit.
That's straight up. So then we got to deal with these other men that come into our lane. Well, they try to come into our lane. They're calling the show and they say, hey, well, I got some game in this area, but I don't have game in this area. I need some help in that. No, you don't have game at all because game is in all areas. So what I'm saying is when you see these men going against these women, you know they ain't got no motherfucking game. There's no reason. Now we can have a conversation.
Right.
But every single time that they rebuttal, you make it seem like that you got to go all in on the inequalities of what's going on in the world. And I just think I find that very vaginal and they move.
Shout out to 1950, yo. My God, 1950. Shout out to 1950. Hey, listen, you talking to all you brothers out there are.
You know you want them soft, motherfucker. What you say? So what? I say I spell it. SOF soft. Huh?
Soft. You know, vaginal, soft. All you soft brothers out there and men out there, males, that allow the woman in your life to dictate to you. I'm sure that you're having a lot of hard times and may God bless you. and may you find some clarity, and may you find a vision, and may you find a plan, and may you get on your purpose ASAP Rocky. With that being said, look, if y'all want your comments highlighted in red, y'all can hit the Cash App @ Israel Mills. This is not a commercial, but this is what it is over here. If you hit the Cash App @ Israel Mills, show love through the Cash App @ Israel Mills, and we will highlight and read your comments throughout the stream. That's how we do it over here, because there'll be a lot of people, a lot of comments. But if you want your comments prioritized and read, it's better to hit the Cash App than to do super chat. No taxes, and they don't get 30%. All right. So with that being said, anybody want to add on to what 1950 was saying?
I loved it. I loved it. I love it. I love it. And I wish that more women would just shut up and just listen. Like, we don't have to go tit for tat. And if a dude doesn't engage with you, does not make him a BI. TC, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? You just want to be right. You just want to be right all the time. And like, there are dudes that are moving a certain way. I was dating a Muslim man, right? And I'm Christian. So they have a totally different lifestyle. And he's like, I do this, I don't do this, I don't eat this, I do this time, this is Ramadan. And I'm like, oh my God. But the fact that, well, he's a good guy, I'm going to abide by what he's sitting in place. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, he had his deal breaker. He's like, if you can't follow this, then we're not talking. So I'm like, oh my God. So you like, you make that decision. Is this a person that you want to be with, and you're gonna submit to his game plan, or do I want to do what I want to do? I'm gonna have my way or whatever, and miss out on a possibly good opportunity. So eventually didn't work in the long run, but still, like, just to be able to get on a man's plan and him saying, this is what is happening. A lot of women cannot bring themselves to do it because they have the money, they have the houses, they have the assets, they have everything that replaces a man.
It's this
emotional damage. Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
That's what
I mean, dude, and I love that guy. Men need to just stand on their ground and say it is what it is. I don't care, because the moment a woman loses respect for you, that is it. You know what I'm saying? And don't go chasing after her. If she can't value you enough, then peace out, chick. I don't need you. There's somebody else that's going to do it. That's why you're giving birth to the passport bros. That's why you're giving birth to everyone else, because you just can't get it together. Someone else will.
Go ahead, Chris. What do you want to say, sir?
Man, let's just keep it honest and real. What it really is you ain't the guy. That's just what it is. Like, we keep on dancing around it. It's just the guy, because women do it for the one they want to do it for. Like, men, we keep on trying to make it, oh, well, it's this guy and it's that and it's this and he's short and he don't got enough income. You just ain't him. That's it. You just not him. That's what it is.
Well,
you ain't that guy.
I hear you on that, Chris. At the same time, I would like to offer a little slight bit of pushback, right? Because I would say that, sometimes women start out a certain type of way, right? They start out following your program. They start out listening. They start out doing, because they want to get you, right? And then when they think that they got you and they feel comfortable, then that's when they say the representative wears out, or they start acting the way that they want to act, whatever the case may be, when they think that they got you roped in. So I would say that as a man, you have to, it's not really about being that guy per se, even though you should be that guy anyway. You should be him anyway, but that's really him to you. Everybody, like, MRM's him. I can't be MRM's him. Like, Modern Renaissance man, I can't be his him. That man do everything. That man is a modern Renaissance man. So I can't compare to him. Like, my best would not be the best of a modern Renaissance man, right? I only could be the best that I could be, and then that's going to look different. So what I mean by that is, as a man, it's important for you to have your program, have your philosophy, have the way that you move, have the way that you think, and operate in that, and be the best that you can in your philosophy, in your operation, and how you move, and stand firm in that. And then if a woman doesn't happen to collaborate with you or to be able to be compatible with you, then it's okay to say, okay, hey, look, you know, this is not working out. But a lot of times, unfortunately, men, number one, we settle. Number two, we allow ourselves to be manipulated and allow ourselves to just go along to get along. And number three, we don't really value ourselves as men. And so it starts there first, valuing yourself as a man, knowing who you are, having a purpose, having a plan, having a vision. Hold on, what's going on there? Having a vision and then moving from there. So that's the main thing and the most important thing as a man. So it's not, you know, this him conversation cool. Everybody can't be modern Renaissance man. I'm just telling you. And if you try to compare to modern Renaissance man, you gonna get your feelings hurt because he's a superhero. So don't worry about being him. Worry about being you, the best you could be. And you're gonna find somebody who will love you and like you and follow you as long as you love you and like you and have something to follow. What say y'all on that? You know what I'm saying? What say y'all? What say y'all? What say y'all?
I actually 1,000% agree. I think that you got to come as you are, attract what you attract, and move in a way that's going to be able to keep it. If you want to keep it, date intentionally, move intentionally, right? For if a woman automatically, and I hear women say this all the time, I only like men that's 6 feet.
Lies.
And then I end up smashing.
Exactly. And what are you, 5'2"? How tall are you, man? No, I'm just
Let's say I'm 5'1" actually. 5'1" actually. I'm basically a hobbit. If you watch Lord of the Rings, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, you are not a hobbit. Stop playing. How tall are you for real, Darryl? How tall are you for real, man?
I'm like 5'6" for real.
Oh, 5'6". Okay. Go ahead.
I'm like 5'6". So my daughter mom's standing right next to me, real talk. Like, Chrissy, am I like 5'6"? But nevertheless, like women like you for different things, right? They might like your confidence, they might like your aesthetics, physical aesthetics, and how you carry yourself. And that might mean your clothes, your attire, your attitude, how you smile, how your teeth is brushed, right? If you like, we was watching Love Is Blind, right? This dude Zach, he stare at women. He got a bad problem. He just stares. That's one of the physical aesthetics that led to him not being engaged with his first lady, Irina, right?
What are y'all watching soap operas for men? What is this? What's going on? What is this?
Hey, I get a lot of my lessons to my mentees and these speaking events I go to. I get a lot of it. Y'all, Love Is Blind is a really good show to get a lot of background knowledge and stuff from. I'm telling you. So is Married at First Sight. I'm telling you.
What is Love Is Blind? What is this that we're
It is a show. It's a dating show where you go into a room and there's a wall right there. You can't see the person on the other side. Y'all get to know each other based off of y'all personalities, what y'all like, what y'all don't like. Y'all never see each other at all. And finally, if you get to a point where you say, yeah, I want to go ahead and just make you my woman, and the woman would agree to it, he pretty much proposes to her. And wait. Sorry.
MRM, how long is this process? How many years is this process?
I think they go at it for maybe, I think I want to say
4 weeks.
Like I thought it was 8 or something like that. I thought they usually do
4 weeks in the pod, and it's 4 weeks after the pod.
Yeah, 4 weeks. But here's the thing, Izzy. Their whole time is devoted to nothing more but straight behind the wall vetting. If they're not vetting, they're sleeping. When they wake up in the morning, eat breakfast, they go right in those rooms talking to different females, and females talking to different males. Yep, just all you can hear is their voice. So the idea behind it is trying to get to know the person based off of what y'all like, what y'all don't like. If y'all mesh, they talk about everything. And then when they finally go ahead and say, hey, I narrowed it down to 2 girls. I'm kind of struggling between the 2 of y'all. And then finally they have to choose. And the guy will say, okay, I choose you. And if the woman agrees to it, they pretty much are saying like he pretty much proposed to her, he engaged to her, and they all of a sudden they reveal each other. And when they reveal each other, you can see right from the jump when they come towards each other, ooh, this not gonna work because some of the body language is showing
Oh
right
my
there.
That's what I was about to say. How much?
You saw how Zach and Irina when they first met.
Hold on.
I knew, I knew it was a wrap.
MRM, wait, you gotta help. You gotta work with us uninitiated that don't watch the show. So MRM,
I know.
so how many times do people that see each other be like, nah, after they see each other, they be like, hell no.
Okay,
like,
so I watched all the seasons, right? I think it's like 3 of them. And I think the one that me and Daryl talking about right now, that's one of the first ones where I saw that right from the jump. The body language, like most of the people when they see each other, they like, oh my God, they'll run to each other, they'll hug, and then they kiss because they got, like I said, they're vetting for hours upon
He
hours.
tried to kiss her,
weeks.
and she did him with the.
Yes. And me and my wife was like, it's over. It is
cute. Was she cute?
She was straight, nice little body. Face was kind of hit.
Was she black? Was she black?
No,
she was white. She was white.
Oh, okay.
But there's different couples on there. There's black couples on there. There's white couples on there.
Brett and
big
Tiffany,
time.
by far the best couple.
Hey,
they
and
had the best
Daryl.
chemistry.
And check this out, Daryl. If you pay attention to that, a lot of the women in that show, although they chose the men they were with when they went onto the island, a lot of those women were drawn to him, weren't they? Because remember when the old girl saw him, she was like, dang, because of his masculinity.
You're talking
he
about
was
Chelsea.
The most masculine one there.
Kwame's fiance. The moment she saw Brett, goddamn, he fine. Took off her glasses.
Said it in front of him.
Right in front of him.
Did they get married?
Yeah, they did get married. They had some issues with interracial dating. Some of his family specifically, because he was from Ghana. So his mother wanted him to marry a woman who was from Ghana. She didn't want to come to the wedding. She was like, "Oh, you married a white woman. Well, I guess I'm not your mom no more."
Yeah. But yeah,
they did get married.
Yeah, those shows right there is what give me a lot of my material for when I go to these speaking engagements and all that, because it gives you so much stuff to work with to show you that people can, it's a lot of elements that come into it. That's why it's called Love is Blind, because then there's that show Married at First Sight, where there's a woman on there. She was a beauty queen. Like, she was a beauty queen, won all kinds of beauty pageants, right? And before you go on the show, you tell these experts about what type of woman you like, her looks and everything, her physicality, and these experts match you up. When they got to this show, this woman, like I said, beauty queen. And although she won many beauty queen pageants, this dude specifically said in his chart, I like thick women. And she wasn't thick. So right from the jump, he was like, she was everything on paper. Like the way she talked to him, she definitely was a very feminine, submissive woman, but she did not have that booty and them boobs. And dude, he couldn't do it. He went through the whole process, and they barely hugged, because
that was Love at First Sight, right?
No, this one is Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight. Yeah, I remember you had told that story before. Married.
Yeah, so it all comes down to, that's why it's very important to like what, you're going to like what you like regardless. And I always tell that story about how when I met my wife, I wrote it down in the journal what type of woman that I wanted. And if you didn't even fit that, I wasn't even interested. I don't care how cute you might have been. If you did not fit that description that I wrote down, what I wanted out of a woman.
Wait, MRM, as a doctor, and then this goes to the topic is, can you elaborate? Because young Marshall, when he was dating Jacquelina, she wanted him to move like a man. I need you to move like a man. You're not moving like a man. Can you elaborate
before y'all get into that, before y'all get into that, because I'm lost. Okay, before y'all get into people with these names and these stories. Hey, shout out to you, Princessa, the powerful hurler. I think that you're telling the story because I think I remember that you're more like a hobbit than 6'4". Princessa is more like a hobbit than 6'4". But hey, you didn't.
But who saved the world though? The hobbits did.
Yeah, shout out to all the hobbits out there.
Shout out to Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo!
Hobbit life.
Shout out to Frodo.
One Baggins.
Oh, but to the video, I'm gonna say this real quick to the video that you just played though. To that guy's point on there though,
Mr. 1950.
Yeah, you see that the thing is on there is that what I always do this again, I always like, I don't think I can do is related to like, children or like experience that I had in the home. If your child jumps in front of you and they're like, and you just like, boy, move. Your child is doing it because they're trying to get your attention. They're trying to get you to do something. Daddy, look at me. Pay attention to me. Look at what I can do. Or they'll go and grab some, dad. Look at this. And they'll just want to, they just do that. The reason why I'm saying is because women, I'm telling you, and it's not to be like condescending, but in a way, when women display certain type of attitudes towards some of the men they are with, that's what they're trying to do. I'm trying to get this out of you. I'm trying to get you to look at me and listen to me because I'm trying to get you to do something. like if your child is trying to get praise out of you, they want to look what I can do. Watch this, daddy, and they'll just do something. You, oh, okay, that's good. All right.
Mhm.
A lot of times women do that, but they come in a certain type of way that's in an anger like type mode. Like what's wrong? You just need to. They're crying out because they're really pretty much trying to tell you, I need you to be. You know, that's what they're really trying to do. I ain't about to sit there and something no grown man. You a grown man. You can. The reason why they're doing it because again, they're trying to push something that's in them naturally. You're supposed to be leading me. You're supposed to be the one making this. You're supposed to be. I shouldn't have to be on me. Yet at the same time, with their mouths, they'll say, "Yeah, I know that I'm the one to wear the pants in here," and I have to tell. See, the fact that they even say things like that, I have to tell him. That's a complaint.
Mhm.
That is a complaint. They want you to do something about it. If my son comes to me again, say, Dad, this kid keeps on. The reason why they're telling me because they want me to do something about it. So if your woman is coming to you and saying, I have to this, I have to hold us up, I have to this, because she's trying to tell you, I'm trying to get you to lead. But a lot of times they don't know how to articulate and express that, and it comes off wrong.
Because you're supposed to.
Oh, Hercules.
Yeah, you're supposed to be Hercules. That's you. Hercules. And she's like,
You don't listen. You don't listen to me. I don't hear what I gotta say.
you don't hear what I gotta say. Hey, listen. So
But I mean, it comes into play where she didn't choose a man that could lead in the first place because she wouldn't have to insinuate. She wouldn't have to go to extra lengths to try to get your attention, to try to make you look at your revision again. Like, hey, boy, you got to revisit your vision because your purpose, because you ain't on it right now. You know what I'm saying? It's good for a person to support you, but that's just showing her poor picking qualities. Now, that happened to me. Now, I picked a man based on like, oh, the superficial stuff. Like,
you like his jeans and the shoes. You're
yeah,
like, oh, those some nice jeans and some shoes.
Oh my God. You know, so all that, you know, blind stuff, how love gets you with the infatuation, not love. Okay, how all that lust and infatuation gets you.
Lust.
And so now I got married, and I'm like, man, this is
like I was married now,
and I'm in this now. But that's the bed I lied in, you know. And there was lots of times. There was so many times I had to apologize and saying, okay, I'm sorry I talked to you, like you said, in that angry manner, or I apologize, or I apologize. It was so much apologizing, but that's the problem. Women sometimes, most times, don't have the capability to pick men that lead because they're trying to control everything, or they don't have a guy that they can vet through. They don't have a Israel or a big brother or uncle, you know what I'm saying, or a Daryl to say like, hey, look this dude over. Is he cool? Or is he on his purpose? Or he's a shrimp, you know what I'm saying? Or he's a buster, you know, but
for that.
What's that, Chris?
I said many times we keep forgetting to tell women they don't have the capabilities to select men. That's why men used to select the men for them, because y'all really don't.
Yeah, the father did. Yeah, a lot of, and I guess that's Tony's point. Tony is saying that's when one of y'all chat. This is a USA problem. Yeah, but unfortunately, all of us on the panel live in the USA, and I believe everybody except for MRM is either a divorcee or single. So, you know.
So let me say this, like, white school, you're absolutely right. And this is why love is not blind. You feel me? Like, we care about looks, especially as the young person said in the other chat, especially in America. That's why I always tell them, and I hate when I use her as an example, she can be submissive. She can come home and make love to you every day, but if she look like a Leslie Jones or whatever you consider unattractive, right? Y'all not going. They're not going the same way a woman can have a man that's providing. He can be charming, but he looked like Flavor Flav or a man that women deem unattractive. And
but you don't think Flavor Flav got love, and Leslie Jones got love too. Somebody loves Leslie Jones. Somebody,
and it's a lot of
somebody or something.
I mean, they don't value it till after the fact. Like the good, like they say, the good person wins last. So these people aren't getting swooped up until we done been abused and banged up and battered up to see like, oh, you know what? Flavor Flav, he wasn't that bad. You know, that mole on his nose looked kind of cute now because he treats me good, you know. So it's unfortunately that we don't learn until we bumped our heads too many times that this
Me
is
being
a
a little
good
bit
person, but that
younger.
wasn't the person.
And let's
Yeah.
wait, hold on, Daryl. Someone
Yes,
said
sir.
Gabrielle Cedarberg got somebody and Lizzo got somebody. So if they can get somebody, anybody can get somebody. That's what
And so
someone in
did
the
you
chat
make
was
that
saying.
post with the
That's
two-headed
also
twin?
predicated on the person
No, I
looking
didn't.
for the person too, though.
It's the girls that they're conjointed together. They just got married. So if they can get married,
There's
come on.
somebody for him. Somebody loves you, baby.
Y'all know the story of Donald Glover,
No.
also known as Childish Gambino,
Shout out to Childish Gambino. Nah, I
and
don't
how
know.
like he was saying how like when
Is
he was
he a
younger,
Hobbit?
yeah, he's short too.
Okay.
But he was saying how when he was younger, growing up in Atlanta, girls did not like him. They wanted the Gucci Mans, they wanted the big Meeches. Like that was real big in Atlanta at that time. And he was this dude walking around with his shirt tucked in, wearing plaid shirts with a tie and fucking khakis, right? You know what I'm saying? No jewelry, no drip. You feel me? And he was saying like black women didn't really like him growing up, even though we all know Childish Gambino is one of the most talented people in all of the industry, right? And he was talented then. Another, I can go to a different one because this is more, I think, relevant. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, that young lady that dissed him, right? When I read into that story, she said on her podcast, out of her own mouth, Michael would come to school every day with these scripts and act like he was going to be this star. He landed The Wire when he was a young man, right? He landed a few different movies when he was a young man, but The Wire is probably the most prevalent because he had a chance to interact with people like Michael K. Williams, Idris Elba, big actors who was really on a grind. He later on would go and make Black Panther, which was one of the highest grossing films of all time, and still plays the character Killmonger in the second movie as well. My whole point is this: when she was calling him lame, it was because he looked corny, he acted corny, and he was purpose driven. He wasn't focused on smoking, drinking, having fun, you know, doing all the stuff that women are really attracted to in American culture, not just black women, right? You go to Miami, you would meet Mexicans, white, they all attracted to the same type of dudes, the same type of behavior, the same type of culture. But when a man usually is on his grind, before he come up, it's hard for women. It's hard for him to really find a woman that's going to be down for him. And I'm gonna end it here. That's why I really love the story of Ryan Coogler, right? Who is the director of Black Panther, who made all of his movies with Michael B. Jordan. His first movie I found out was about an Oakland kid named Oscar Grant.
Yeah,
it was Fruitville Station.
Yeah, Fruitville Station. Yeah.
Oh man, that was a good movie.
That was
really
good. That was
good.
very sad.
That was.
Did you know his wife? He said he had bad credit or whatever growing up in California. He said his wife bought him a Mac, and she paid for like the little little editing software, Final Cut Pro.
Yeah,
they made all that money together. She put all that money into him, right?
Mhm.
And then guess what? Now he directed a $1 billion movie, right?
1 second, Trevor.
So like shout out to Ryan Coogler. That's all I was gonna say.
Shout out. Hey, MP said, I slightly disagree, Daryl. A lot of women, especially here in LA, will absolutely date an unattractive man because he got money.
Yeah, money talks, MP. She right.
Go ahead, Trucker. What's going on? How you doing, Trucker? What's going on?
I'm good. How everybody doing? How you doing, wife school?
Hi.
Yeah, how you doing?
No, Trucker. This is not a dating show for Trucker looking for wife number 3. No, hold on. Your mic is loud too. This is not Trucker. I muted you for a second because this is not a dating show for Trucker Yell looking for wife number 3. This is just not going to happen here, sir. Okay, so please continue.
My bad. I turned the mic down. Is it too loud? Still,
it's a little loud. You know you got
okay. Let me turn it down a little bit.
You got a robust microphone. I don't know. Yeah, that's decent. That's better.
I just want to say I'm with Daryl on this one. Salute to Daryl. If y'all ever noticed that when women actually invest in a man, they actually come up. Like when they actually approach the dude that they want, they actually come up and they actually win. You know, I mean, if you really think about it, a lot of us, including myself, there's a lot of people on here who said their wives actually walked up to them, was like, yo, here's my number. And they went on a date and that was the end of it. And then who the hell that's why I came up here. Who the hell is dating Leslie? That ain't even a woman. That's a damn creature.
Wait, come on, man. We're not gonna do that. Hey,
No, she does have a man.
Wait, hold on. She does. Yes, and so does Gabrielle Cedarbay, and so does Lizzo.
Yes, she
so,
does.
Hey, listen, Crown Heights.
No, wait, hold up. Now, y'all know Lizzo
stop
paid
1
that
second,
man.
Trucker. Crown Heights Brainiac said, "Trucker yell, always be closing." He lived by ABC, always be closing. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But we're not about to do that. We're not about to do that. Shout out to Leslie Jones. We're not about to do that. Everybody has a preference. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Another man's trash.
Come on.
I respect that. You right. You right.
She ain't done nothing.
My bad.
She ain't done nothing to nobody. And y'all want to talk bad about that woman. That's not right.
I just can't see because I want.
We all need like a good woman in our lives. Like it doesn't matter if she's like a Savannah James, like LeBron need her today, getting sweep for the 3rd time in his career.
Oh man, come on, man. We ain't about to start this LeBron slander today.
He need his wife. I know he's feeling some type of way
Shout
right now.
out to LeBron, man. My prayers are with you, my good brother.
I hope that shout out to Trae Young and Kyrie.
You got $1 billion and you're one of the most popular, one of the best basketball players ever in life, yo. So shout out to you.
But she been down for him since high school, though. Like that's my point was. She was down with him like when he was playing in the McDonald's All-American games, you know what I'm saying? And he never stepped out on her and stuff like that. Even though people hate their reunion, they hate their union. I really like Gabrielle and I like D-Wade too.
Oh my God.
Oh no. Now I'm disagreeing on that one.
You shut your lying nigga lips up.
Nah, bro. Oh man, Daryl. Oh man.
You know, I was gonna say,
say Gabrielle or Leslie Jones.
No, let MRM cook.
Woo, Jesus. Are you talking about just looks? Or you talking about their
attitude?
Everything that come with them. Everything.
I'm gonna have to take
I'm taking an L with Leslie.
I'm taking Leslie. Yep.
You ain't about to come in there trying to
Leslie.
You ain't about to come in there trying to sissify my son and stuff. No, buddy.
Y'all older and wiser.
And to be quite honest with you, I think it's just a cover up for what Dwayne Wade got going on behind closed doors. If you ask me, that's just my opinion on that, though.
Oh Lord!
I'm telling you. Just don't be surprised if that just happened to be one of the things where they say, "Oh yeah, we're open," and Dwayne is okay with men being in the bed too. I said this on May the 23rd. May the 23rd, MRM said that, and if it comes to pass, I'm telling you. Because just some dude.
Yo, you my man, but I gotta change this.
That's my jam right there.
Hey, that's a good one.
Yo, shout out to that dude. He killed it.
My wife don't even work, and I kills her with that. Because I went early and I just
by
do
the
that
way,
on purpose.
Hey, do you? I think I found you on Instagram, but I kind of wanted to send you a clip.
Who you talking to?
It's a clip. It's a wild. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's a pretty.
On Instagram.
Yeah, I found you.
Let
on
me
Instagram.
ask y'all this then, because another couple
Hey,
who get a lot of.
Hold on, Daryl. The brother was talking. You just
my bad, trucker. Yeah, my bad.
No. I was just saying I wanted to send a clip because I didn't know how to feel about it. It was about mothers and what they tend to be doing today, and it's a wild situation that's going. I didn't even know this was happening, but they was talking about it, and I couldn't even believe it. So men, y'all need to stay home because these women are out of control.
What's happening?
After what I heard last night.
What are you talking about? What's happening, Chucky? You might as well say it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Tell me what that's about so I can look this up.
All right, I'm gonna give you a clip. I'm gonna give you a little. So they was having this conversation, and it was an all girl panel, and they was basically like, "Yo, if your 13-year-old daughter."
I seen that clip.
You know what I'm talking about?
Wait. You gotta let him finish, y'all. Y'all gotta let him finish. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
That I did
let
see
him finish. Let him finish. Okay, go ahead.
So the woman asked, so if your 13-year-old daughter asked for a vibrator, would you give it to her? And all the women on the panels immediately said yes.
What?
Yeah. Yes, they immediately said yes.
How could they?
It wasn't no hesitation. It was
They said,
No
well, it's
hesitation.
better to go on out here getting their fingers dirty. I want her to explore her sexuality.
Yes.
And then and the woman
To
I
get
was
her
saying
fingers
is,
dirty. She don't
yeah,
wash her
yeah.
coochie?
No, he was saying like she don't want a boy to put his fingers with dirty nails inside her daughter, so she'd rather give her the toy.
The vibrate, the toy. And I was like, and then they was sitting there justifying it, like, don't give her like a super vibrator, just give her something so she can explore her sexuality. And I was like, yo, this shit is so disturbing.
Wait. So let me get this straight. They are singeing the clitoris hairs at a very young age now. That's what they're doing. They are singeing the clitoris hairs, and so they are not going to have no feeling by the time that they get grown women. That's what we're saying. That's what we're talking
Pretty
about.
much. And the woman, the one of the women on there was also talking about how she had her child was from like a stranger or some shit like that. Because I heard her from a stranger because she used to go to these meth parties or whatever you want to call it in college. But the dude is, but she also had a husband at the same time.
Oh Lord. Hey,
so
Crown Heights Brady had said you still in her childhood. You damn right. Oh Lord. That's crazy.
I didn't know how to feel about it. I'm like, man, I know we try to talk about men shit, but this was kind of disturbing to me, you know.
That's some bull. That's some bull. That's
and I was like, man, this will be a good conversation that is, you know, can talk about, because this is like really, really fucked up. I'm like, what kind of man will sit there, yo, like it's no better. It's really no better than, I hate the saying when parents say, well, you know, I'd rather them smoke here than on the street. You know, I'd be wanting to smack the hell out of a person, you know, doing that dumb stuff. So
I'd have to tell my daughter. I'd have to tell her.
Still, shut up.
She didn't hear me.
Still, shut up.
The problem that comes to it to me is that even with my own sons, and even like we had a foster daughter too, is that that's not even a conversation that comes up. Therefore, it's not nothing for them to be focused on. Like it's so honestly, y'all, it is so easy. It's easy. I mean, let's just be real. Come on, man. No, like nobody had to teach nobody that was born like in my time in the 80s, or nobody had to teach nobody to take them long showers. Nobody had to teach nobody that. You was still in magazine pages and everything when we back in nobody had to sit there, well, my son gonna go out there get some coochie, I'm just gonna give him this magazine. You either your imagination had you going crazy with, and you just went in and took them long showers, or you had a piece of paper. People do them as part of the natural process of development. But to sit there and actually encourage it, that's a whole different ballgame, because to me, you are actually saying, I'm giving you permission to explore all these different avenues. And you know, and when you do that, that's gonna actually, see, here's the deal. Usually if you did things like that, you was like behind closed doors, you trying to do it in secrecy, whatever like that. But then if your parents is giving you the lead way to say, honey, I'm gonna give you this because that's gonna make you feel like, oh, well, mom is enabling me. Mom is cool with it. So if anything, it's gonna cause you want to go out there and do it more, because they don't feel like they're being private about it or being like secretive about it. You know, so I mean, that's, to me, that's gonna enable them to go out there and
this is what I would tell her.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
This
the fact that she is exploring it does not mean that she knows how sex works, because once that man or that boy releases out, that's it. That's basically it. And now she got another problem on her hand, which is a child raising a child shouldn't even be experiencing. And that's what you're just going to keep perpetuating.
All she knows is BOBs. All she knows is battery operated boyfriends. And that is going to be a damn shit.
13 years old, bro. That shit disturbed the hell. I mean, first off, I don't even feel comfortable even having conversations with my parent at all. But for you to really be that comfortable to have conversations with your parent about sex, like sex, like this is your homegirl, you know, like, come on, man. Like,
I honestly think she just made that question up just to be like,
yeah, that's crazy.
You know, whatever. But the fact that the responses is sickening to know what is going on in the mind of women.
Yeah.
Middle school,
that's the part that I went off.
Hey,
that's the part that I went.
This is crazy. Mama Carol said my daddy had 4 boys. He pulled the heating elements out of the hot water heater. No hot showers for them. That's crazy.
Hey, bro, I'm telling you right now, and they can embarrass them all they want to. They know I don't care, bro. I was like, babe, This is my wife. Well, he got the long hair. So I said, babe, stop. Well, I said, babe, no man takes showers that long. We get in there. We'll wash up good and everything. You know what I'm saying? We'll clean up good. But you talking 15 minutes max. This dude in here for an hour?
Yo, he messing up your water bill. He messing up.
Hey, so check this out. That's what I'm saying. Next thing you know, I go right to that room. Next thing you know, you hear, hey! I'm like, get out. I was using the bathroom first before I got the shot. Get out. And now, but here's the thing. I'm the type of father, because of my personality, I go right to him like, now look, your mom do the clean. So I'm just saying, she go in there, she finds stuff that looks like a loogie. How you think she gonna feel about that in that shower? Oh yeah, okay. I'm just saying, conversation over. Boom. That's the most we have with it. I know what's going on. We ain't got to go into the details. I know what's going on. I'm just telling you. You better take that shower head off and spray and make sure it go down. Because your mom clean there. You're gonna have you're not gonna be a looker. You're not gonna be the liquor in the eye no more. And we got 3 bathrooms. I told my son, listen,
I was in a small spot, man. My son and I were in a small spot at one time, right? And I would smell this smell, this familiar smell that I only smelled for myself. And I was like, boy, I know you ain't in here. I know you ain't in here doing what I think you're doing when I ain't here.
No, it's not.
Smelling this smell, sir.
Bro, Izzy, even if it goes beyond that, you like, okay, you said that you was pooping. How come I don't smell nothing? All like the shower, dude. Come on now, the shower been going on for a long. You've been in that shower for a long time. Just like I said,
hey, boys, get nasty mother. Anyway,
that's why I say nope, not taking that phone in there. No, that way you can take a shower. How come when the phone don't go, your showers be like 10 minutes and you out, but when the phone in there for some reason seem to be 45 minutes or so. Like, I'm listening to music. Yeah, okay.
I don't hear no music. Hey, Crown Heights Brainiac said you won't let her drink before 21, but you'll give her a minor a sex toy. Make it make sense. It don't make sense, family. There's no way to make sense of that.
It really don't. It blew my mind though when I heard this. I thought it was gonna be like, what you talking about? It was like an instant, yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah, man. I was like, what is going? I'm like,
I don't know, man. I'm conflicted,
man,
bro.
Crazy.
I lost my virginity at 14, right? And like looking back on things that I was doing at that age with ladies that was also that age, and now, Israel, you know what I do now, every single day, right? Like, and working with the youth now. Let me say this: I'm not completely against it. I'm really not, because
come on, like, a sex toy, Daryl.
I'm about to be genuine with you. Like I said, like I lost my virginity when I was 14, bro. And I had been talking to that young lady. We came out of middle school together, and we decided to lose our virginities together. I'm pretty sure she didn't run that by her parents. So my whole point is this: these young girls, no matter what we think, we like our households are different. I wouldn't do that with my own personal daughters, but for more general conversation, right? For more general conversation, there are young ladies out here that are engaging in sexual activities with young boys. At that age, bro, I was doing back shots. Girls are doing everything that women are doing to me now, right? All throughout my high school career, I'm telling you, like from 9th grade to 12th grade, I wasn't stopping, right? My younger brother was the same way. He got a girl pregnant at that age. He was 13 when that happened, right? So, like, my whole point is this, man. Like, to teach, I think we had to really teach about sexual education in a very real way. I've always supported that conversation. So I would genuinely prefer my daughters, in real life. I wouldn't want this, but if they told me they want to go have sex with a young man, I can prevent that by giving them a toy, and they can become sexually aware of themselves before they go out and let men really, or young boys, not even men, young boys, validate.
Wouldn't that wait? I got to cut you off, Darryl. Hold on. Wouldn't that encourage? Hold on, White School. Wouldn't that encourage them more so to try to explore with boys, because they would want to know what that feeling is to be with a boy, and because the toy maybe feel so good that they would want to know what everybody is talking about, and they like really be inclined to touch a boy. But anyway, so Crown Heights Brainiac, and then go ahead, White School, and then MRM. Crown Heights Brainiac said, "No disrespect, Darryl. Just because you've gone through it doesn't make it right. Don't legitimize BS like it's right. Nah, B. Nah."
I'm just saying it happens, bro. That's all.
I mean, you're saying it happens, but you wouldn't even let your daughter get into that situation. So that means deep inside, you know, it's not cool and it's not copacetic. And plus, you're just telling her to throw away her virtue anyway, which a lot of people don't even value anymore. It's just sex as what it is. That's why we can't even value it, or women don't even value it the way they're supposed to. That's why they're getting 10,000 bodies or whatever. If the vibrator ain't working out, I got to get 50 bodies, whatever. And they
10,000 bodies. Wait, who you know got 10,000 bodies? God,
so like I like to speak in realistic matters real here. It's hard for us.
Wait, it's MRN's turn next.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
My bad. Go ahead.
All right, so check this out. With our kids, we don't all of our kids in our program. They're not even taught sexual education in school. All of them are opt out of it. And the reason why we opted all of them out of it is because when you get to the nitty gritty of what it's all about, is teaching them how to do it. See what I'm saying? And here's the thing. What we got to understand is that there's supposed to be a natural progression that's supposed to happen. In other words, there doesn't need to be an enabler. Pandora's box don't need to be open until a natural progression happens. So I might have said this on your channel before, Easier. This might have been on another panel. I don't know because I'm on so many of them. When do you know that your baby is ready to walk? Because you see that your child will start grabbing onto the couch. They pull themselves up. They'll let go and try to walk. When they do that, what do? You intervene, right? But you don't try to make them walk before they're actually trying to naturally progress to walking. So what I'm saying therefore is this. The reason why we opt them out of that is because their focus wasn't even on that. Their minds are not even geared on that at all. And I'm talking about the thought of it. Now, when you're going through adolescence, which all of us have, you all of a sudden, like in the neighborhood, little girls that we played with, we wrestled with them, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, something happened one day where when I grabbed her, it kind of is a little different. Whoa, hold on, wait a minute now. That never happened before. Say you look down, little dudes. I used to wrestle with these girls in the neighborhood all the time. Well, all of a sudden, this reaction happening, a natural progression. So what I'm saying that for is that when we have these talks with our young people, and we ask them if anybody been having these feelings or these urges like this, when they raise a hand, we have a rap session and we chop it up. And what we do, we channel that energy that they're having like that into something else, not on saying, go and explore that, go and do that. What we do is we say, hey, that's awesome. It's supposed to feel like that. It's great to feel like that. But we only going to do that when it's right and when it's time. You know what I'm saying? So we let them. So in other words, if these kids has never seen this stuff, never even been around it, if you're telling them and you're pretty much having them focus on those feelings that you have right there, it's supposed to be for that man you're supposed to be with, or it's supposed to be for that woman you're supposed to be with. That's what it's there for. So it's okay to be like that, but we're gonna get there when you get that guy. So the only reason why I'm saying is because I think one of you guys just said y'all, brother was popping off at 13. Well, yeah, mine, Daryl. So yeah, man. So, coming up in the hood, dude, it was glorified, man. I got hoes, I got this, I got that. And then, if you got some folks like my older cousins, them in Chicago, some of my family members, if they had all these girls all around them, that meant something. So you aspired to do that. Like, I'm gonna get these girls, So my brother, he started popping them off when he was 12. Got 17 kids now. Wow. But here's the thing. How can you now, even though that's terrible and it's messed up, how can you blame it when it was being enabled? Hey, you in there smashing? Hey, that dude got all kind of hoes right there. It was encouraged because now all of a sudden these men from the hood, they validated that. Like, oh, look at my little man right here, boy. Go look at you, boy. You got all kind of hoes, boy. You hitting them, and it encouraged you to go and do it more, not knowing the devastating effects it would have by going there and smashing all these girls.
17 kids.
Yeah, he got my dad had 23. 23 of us, 14 boys and 9 girls.
Good, great. Hey, shout out to Grim and shout out to Paulo. What's going on, family? How you doing? Go ahead.
And doctor, that's why it's so hard. Like, I wanted to respond to White School before she dropped down. I hope she listening. But it's hard to teach virtuousness when you see most of the women you see the moms getting smashed by your big brothers and your uncles. You see that every single day. So this is why, for me, it's really hard to have the conversations around virtuousness because there's no examples of that around the average. You go to Compton, you go to Watts, you go to Detroit, you go to Chicago, like you said, they don't have virtuous women or men around them. The culture itself is not virtuous. It should be because most of those people claim that they pray to God and they follow the Christianity religion, but they don't.
Yep.
Right. Sway, wave in the back, so I know it's you, Sway. Go ahead.
They don't, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I told Iz, since I've been back to the city, I've been working with mostly Islamic families. They actually do follow the Holy Quran. They actually do follow the traditions, the men and the women. You can't tease them into having sex. You can't show a flashy watch and the woman just submit to you because you think you a baller and you got an ego. It takes far more than that. And what it's going to take ultimately is father's permission, brother's permission, right? You don't get that, you don't get nothing. You're never going to like see that box, right? But in our culture, we like you said, you called it glorifying, but I just think it's day-to-day life, right? The woman who might be a single mom, she see a dude she want to smash. She got a son. He know now at that moment, sex is not virtuous because she giving it to whoever come along that she like. So to me, in order for that to be taught, it has to be taught in everyday culture. They have to see it, just like the young Arabic boys and girls seeing it. They moms might be strapped. I've seen ones who got beautiful bodies. You would never know because of how they dress and the traditional garments that they wear to cover their bodies, right? So until we actually instill these things into society, like virtuousness, it's not ever going to be something that I can take serious, or I can't deal with that. I got to deal with the reality, because that's like, I want to talk to her about teenage parents. We got the highest teenage parents in all the races, at least in America. Why? Because we are hypersexualized at a young age. So for me, that's why I said I was torn. I wouldn't want my daughters to do that, but I know there's other young girls out here that are doing that because I was doing it at a young age. All my homies was, all the basketball team was, all the football dudes was, right? All the young dudes who had a bag, who had nice clothes, they all had girls and they all was getting it in.
How
right?
old
Pop
are you,
Smoke, I'll be 33 this year, right?
Okay.
But like I think about, and I'm landed here. I think about the young king Pop Smoke, right? Dude died, couldn't even buy liquor, right? But he was running New York. He was running through New York. You think that he started that at 18? No, he was running through that as a young man. Benzes, Amiri, RTA, and you know what that attract? Women. So like, and ultimately he died with a young lady in the house with him. My whole point is this, man. The young cats, they don't have no virtuousness around them. The culture is built around competition and money. That's it.
Right. That's why I say it like that. That's why in our program that we have all men, because the type of men that we have that's doing is all of us are of a certain caliber. So that's giving them what they should be aspiring to get. You know what I mean? And you're right. So, but that's why I'm talking about for the people to get on this program that we have, the parents, we have them sign off like on the type of, we can't like hold them legal for, but we have them sign off on the contract so they can at least have some sort of accountability to it. And I'm talking, dude, bro, when I tell y'all, look, when their kids go home, their kids are watching shows that probably us in this room grew up on. They're watching the Cosby, they watching Martin, they watching My Wifey. They're not watching anything new to have no ideologies that's out of this world in it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think about the Cosbys, can you think about any type of sexual tension that was in the Cosby Show? Anytime him and Claire got any ounce of it, it was with like a cream cake and strawberries, and he did his little eyes. But even when they went to bed, they was fully clothed. So what I'm saying therefore is that the parents are really on board to where I'm like, look, he or she, no, they don't have, no, the only TV is in y'all living room where you can see what they watching. None of them have no phones, any of that, because we're trying to prevent them from having a certain type of ideology, which I know once they get older and they get around friends who might have it, that can open them up. But at least by the time they do get to that stage, they're going to already not be indoctrinated by all that crazy nonsense.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Hey, Sway, you wanted to say anything before we move on to the video?
I think a lot of times as a parent, it's hard to really understand the new ideology of the new generation of children until you kind of like see it in the moment. So you can't really be proactive in that sense a lot of times. And you can try to instill morals, but most part, boys are going to do what boys are going to do. And the females, in my opinion, they're sexually liberated and they want to be like the men. So unless you can combat the narrative that women can fuck the same as men, I think men are going to take those women up on their that option. And it is what it is, in my opinion. I really don't feel sorry because I leave it up to a lot of, the parenting, because a lot of times parents leave the education up to society. rather than instilling any morals or, you know, educating them or having them read books instead of watch TV, or, you know, take them anywhere to learn any type of history and actually garner the right history behind it instead of leaving it up to the school system to teach them history. It's like we really leave it up to other people to educate and raise our kids, from morals to ethics to, you know, ideologies. A lot of times you think your kids should just reflect you by you being around and you doing you, but you got to do you and teach.
Right. I
What,
think, but
what you
I
teach has to
only
be
can speak.
congruent to what you do. And a lot of
I only
times I
can
feel like
speak.
people don't, a lot of parents don't do both. They just do one or the other.
I only can speak for me and the people that I know, of course. At the same time, you know, you could, and I think you said this before, as a parent, you could try to instill all that you want into your children and teach all that you want to your children. It's up to your children to receive that information or not receive that information. I mean, I know a lot of parents that teach their kids all kinds of stuff and instill all kinds of good stuff in their children. At the end of the day, they do still have to go outside. So that's where I do not disagree with a lot of the brothers that talk about community building and say like, hey, look, yes, it's important to work on your family. At the same time, it's also important to build a community, because once your children leave outside of your home, they have to interact and deal with other children. And most of the time, those are the people who they're going to be around the majority of the hours during the day. They're waking hours during the day, right? Think about it. If your child goes to school, then they're in the school majority of the day. When they come home, is only a brief amount of time between the time that they do their homework and whatever they have to do and go to bed. So that's only a limited amount of time that there's actually spending with you as a parent. But they're spending a tremendous amount of time throughout the week with other children. So it's very, very important that we not only build up our families, but we build up our neighborhoods and our communities as well. So,
bro, that's why I made it a point. I'm telling you, I made it a point to where I was going to be like the most involved dad in the world. I mean, I'm like, look, I'm going to be involved. I don't care what they got going on at school. When my sons would come from school, I would ask them what they did in school, what they talked about. And if they talked about something that actually I even seen and smelled a hint of, wait a minute, hold on. I would say, okay, so let's discuss this. If your teacher said this, I would break out a book and look what this says right here. And then they'll look at it. Oh, wow. So she was wrong about that. Yes, she was. You know what I'm saying? Because like what Sway just said, and he's 100% on that. The school, if you're not a parent that's really involved in your child's life, your child gonna come with the ideology of what school says. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't simply say, no, your teacher ain't right. That's some BS. No, you want to show your child. I broke up in the books. We gonna research. We're gonna look up at the internet. Matter of fact,
a lot of times they can't break that down though. A lot of parents will say, you know, just because, like, don't do this. Why? Because I fucking said so. Or like, you know, they'll try to explain it, and even then they don't know how to articulate it right. They don't even know how to back it up with facts outside of maybe an anecdotal experience. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's an anecdotal experience. And I'm not going to lie to you, parents and older people, that don't really work, because in most young people's brain, it's like you not actually living through the same experience. You an old head. That's what you lived through. They ain't got nothing to do with me going on right now. What you saying ain't what's going on with me. So unless you can kind of, I get it, is I'm telling you from a child's perspective.
No, I got you, but I'm saying, but do you see the erroneous? Do you see the erroneous ideology in that? Because if
you're talking about we can point the flaws out, right? But you're talking about who you're talking about. That's what it is. They have a mindset where you can't just say, since I've been through it, I'm right. And you have to base it on what's going on now and be able to prove how this would affect their lives now. And I get that it's frustrating that you have to go so deep to kind of what MRM is, bring up facts and data and statistics or current political events and like the current things.
Hold on real quick. Hey, K and Paulo, wave in the back so I know it's you, y'all, and I'll bring y'all up. K and Paulo, wave in the back.
A lot of brothers, a lot of young people ain't like me, is like, I'm just saying.
I got you. I guess what I'm saying though, is this is part of the issue, right? Because what if okay, so if you're saying using a cautionary tale, right? And then you tell your child, okay, look at this specific example, and this is why I'm telling you this. They could still easily, because they don't have the experience, be like, well, that's not me, and that's not how I do, and that's not how my people do, and that's not what we are dealing with, right? So you know, I understand what you're saying. At the same time, I think that what you're saying and what I'm saying is kind of the same thing, in that we have to do more than just parent our children. We have to build the community as well, so that the influences that they are being exposed to can be positive influences well in the community.
Can I ask you, what is, I don't want this to be like a long tangent, but what is the community to you? What does that mean?
Well, the community to me, it consists of the neighborhood in which you live. That's when I say community, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the neighborhood or general area. The general area that you're growing up in. Like, you know,
that's what
I'm not talking about everybody, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, for sure. Like, definitely you need to be able to talk. So if me and MRM are neighbors and are pretty sure our kids are going to go to the same school more often, unless it's some private school situation. But if it's public school and we all invest into the same school because we got a good property tax going on in our neighborhood, so we know our school is straight financially, we're definitely going to be involved in keeping our community and watching out for each other's kids, and we'll be talking to each other. And that's the thing, like, you have to be interactive with the other parents. You know what I mean? As much as you guys want to try to like teach the little homies on the block, you got to get cool with their parents first. Because at some point, if they acting a fool, I'm sure if I'm cool with MRM and my kid is over at MRM house, I don't give a fuck. You got to spank my kid.
Right. But I like what you said.
You're not spanking my kid maliciously because I'm cool with MRM. I know him and I know his character.
But hold on. I like what you said before, and I want to let Kay and then Paulo get in, and then we're going to get back to the video. I like what you said before, Sway, when you was like, well, what you need to do is, if you're in your 40s, you need to talk to people that are in their 30s. And then the 30-year-olds need to talk to people that's in their 20s, and the 20-year-old people need to talk to the teenagers. I think that that's a good idea, what you said before, because what happens is a lot of times it's no relation. Like, a lot of times the younger generation can't relate at all to the older generation, and the older generation can't relate at all to the younger generation. But if you do it just a step down at a time, then it does do a trickle down effect. And I think that that is effective.
I think the two things. One, it allows, that breakdown allows actually a conversation to happen between the 20 and the 40-year-old after the information has trickled down. Because one, what he's saying isn't necessarily foreign to you. It might not be portrayed the same way the 30-year-old, because they can relate on a little bit more in terms of their childhood. A lot of times 20-year-olds have the same, they grow up with like the same cartoons and shit. Like, I was born in the 90s, late 90s, but I still had all the 90s cartoons, themes, style, everything. Like, everything I get is from the 90s. And that's just what it is. And there are older, 30-year-olds that were born in the 90s now, and that's just what it is. So in my opinion, it allows the 20-year-olds to talk to the 40-year-olds because they can relate. The only problem that happens is that the 40-year-olds don't tend to see that they need to garner new knowledge from the 20-year-olds. So it just seems like a lecture.
Now, what he just said right there,
nobody wants to be lectured.
Now, and what he just said right there is deep. And I think what Sway just said is deep. And one of the things that I try to, even like the men that actually are mentoring our kids, what Sway just said, I tell them all the time, you have to do that, man. We cannot think that we got it all and know everything. And what they don't understand is, let's just say if there's something that I'm kind of like, something that I might be ignorant to, and Sway noticed that, or anybody that's younger noticed that, and they put me up to game on what that is, that makes me that much more knowledgeable. Because now if there's some other Sways, I know how to relate to them. I know how to convey this message to them because I just got that message from Sway. But a lot of older people, no, y'all young folks, I mean, they like to just blow them off. And a lot of people do get to this point where if you are ignorant to something and somebody like the younger generation know more than what you do on a particular matter, they like to blow them off like they don't know what they're talking about. And then that makes them not actually want to even listen to the old heads, because you're not even trying to receive them and what they're trying to educate us on. And that's one of the biggest things I see with folks like us that do. Because my son's 19 and 21. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm able to talk to some of the kids at these organizations, because my sons didn't put me. I don't, man, new word. Like, dude, when y'all start saying things like bust down, when I was growing up, that meant something else.
Yeah.
I mean, it meant smashing a girl now, but literally when I was coming up in Chi-Town, you bust a girl down, that means you squirted all over her face. So the terminology, even just that, the terminology and everything just completely changed. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, hearing from them and saying, okay, I get what you're saying, but you got to look at it from this perspective. And me, when they say it to me, like I'm doing right now, I write this stuff down. I'm not one to say, I ain't about to listen to these young kids. They don't know what they're talking about. No, because they do, and they onto stuff and know stuff that we don't know. They got different technologies. They're in a whole different world. Some of them are coming up to some. Just think about the kids.
We're gonna let Kay
like,
and then Paulo get in there.
Let's just say if my sons, well, not my son. Let's just say any normal kid, any normal person right now that might be in their 20s and going into their 30s, if they have children right now, their children might be in a school to where their children are going to be under the ideology that there is no man or a woman. Those are just humans.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's.
Hey,
you're speaking to my generation right now, MRM.
All right, one second, Kay, and then Paulo. What's going on, Kay?
I just wanted to say that this conversation is dope, and I don't have much to say. That I agree with everything you guys are saying. I'll let Paulo go because it seems like he has more of an opinion on this. But
all right, shout out to you, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Paulo. What's going on, man? How you doing, Paulo?
What's going on? Man, this is a dope conversation. And I can understand. So a little bit off topic. I can understand why there is a lot of people in this space who sort of criticize men who are married and have family when they join the space. But I look at it from a different lens, in the sense of I need to be involved in the extreme sides of a lot of these conversations as a father, so that I can have at least some level of engagement in what the real world is actually doing. And not only that, I find people like you, MRM, and a whole heap of other men in this space who really have gems that oftentimes get lost in these panels. This conversation goes to show just how important our role as fathers are. And I mean that with everything that I have. And MRM have just touched on a little gem that most fathers don't do, especially ones who are not educated in an academia sense. Get yourself an A4 book or A5, whatever it is, and journal the shit that is happening around you. The reason for that is you can go back and look at what's happening and have some time to really reflect on what are the things that are within your control and influence, especially if you have children. I'm a big proponent of your children aren't going to learn mostly from what you say and what you teach them. They are going to learn through the actions that you actively display and consistently show them, right? I just chopped it up with a few young fathers earlier this morning, and one of the things that they gave me this meme or whatever, this quote, and it goes by, you cannot expect your child to master their emotions if you are unable to regulate your own. And we chopped it down even deeper. I gave them this one. We cannot expect children to form meaningful relationship if we ourselves struggle to form healthy ones.
Good points, man.
Right.
What's up, Chaotic Truth Live? Was good. That's some good points. Go ahead, Paulo.
Are you done, Paulo? Or
Yeah. So I'll leave it at that, because I think the conversation is going to explore a lot of these nuances. But man, as fathers, we really got to reflect on how important our presence are. And not only that, our role and responsibility in our children's life. You cannot undermine your own responsibility.
I'll say this: a lot of times, if you got a dumb kid, it's more often than not that you dumb yourself, or both you and your parents are dumb. Typically, if the parents smart, the kids ain't. They might be bad, or they might have poor decision making, but they not dumb. Like, they smart, right? They still pick up on knowledge. They still know how to make, put two and two together and break shit down in their brain if they really tried. Do any of you think that I'm like a dummy by any sorts of the means? I might be blunt or condescending, but do you think I'm dumb?
No. And you know what? I actually, here's the thing. And I wanted to, would you, Sway, honestly do some of the stuff you say and do? I'm with you. The only reason because the fact that you even say that we think you're condescending, I don't want you to get mixed up, because I tell a lot of my young guys it's just like you. You're not condescending. You can come off as being condescending to people who feel that have a superiority complex. I'm sorry, they have an inferiority complex. So because of your knowledge, how you articulate yourself, how confident you're in yourself, somebody would try to label you as that and then try to make you feel like you are that, when all along you're just confident and you know who you are in your skin and what you do. You know who you are in your thoughts. And I encourage people, be that. Build off of that, but don't let nobody feel like that, because there's people all the time that would completely mislabel you. You come off because I say it all the time. I get it all the time. We just said this a minute ago when it started this, where I would say people have said that you think you all that, you think you just come off. Okay, whatever. No, I know within myself I'm not being that way. My intentions is not to come off as being condescending. I'm really trying to get this message across I'm just telling you what I know. And if you are receiving that as condescending, is it maybe perhaps because you have an inferiority complex to my intellect? And I'm not gonna sit there and I'm about to be all lowly because they think I'm too. No, I'm gonna live in that. I'm gonna swim in that. I'm gonna thrive in it.
Right.
And I
as a man, it's very important to hold on. As a man, it's very, very important to stand on your square and to be who you are and to be cool with who you are, regardless. Even if you are an asshole, Sway, just be cool with being an asshole. It's all right.
I don't think I'm an asshole. I think I'm blunt, and I think people don't like that. And that they think that's why
I think you stand
I
on.
can see myself being condescending, but I feel like the asshole has a negative connotation around it that I don't think I represent. Maybe the condescending tone I can understand, and the bluntness is fine. That's cool. But in my opinion, all I was going to say is that if I was any of you guys' son, MRM, I'm pretty sure I know how you're going to answer this. Would you just blow off the new game, quote unquote, that I'm trying to give you because you are older and wiser and you're my dad and all this extra shit that you have now diminished the points that I'm giving you based on my age?
Nope, I couldn't. Not even with my own sons. Because the thing is, I would have raised you to be doing exactly that. Like my like I tell people right now, even though I call them my sons, when people like, man, how are your kids? I go, wait, I ain't got no kids. I got roommates. Like, so when we have conversations, my sons, them talk to me in a way to where they disagree. They'll be like, no, dad, no. And the reason is because of da da da. And I'm like, wait, how? And they'll just know, okay, because okay, dad, you said this, right? I'm like, right. Well, when you think about it, da 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 da, and I'll just sit there and okay, I can see that. All right, okay. But I'm never one. I'm the daddy, and because you my son, boy, you know what you're talking. No.
MRM was touching on a big thing that we need to do with our sons. And I think I spoke on this before is on your panel. Our sons need to be able to challenge us, but we also need to set some ground rules in terms of that challenge. If you're going to challenge me, you better be able to break it down all the way in. You cannot just challenge me from a point of emotional sort of reactionary to a thing I've said, to an action I've done. The space is there for you to challenge me because as men, that's how we sharpen each other. Iron sharpens iron, right? So, but in order for you to do that, you must stand 10 toes down on what you're challenging me on and break it all the way in. So what we do then in teaching our sons is that you recognize authority, and when you challenge it from a place that there is some legitimate reasons for why you do so.
I had an example. I had to actually come to a point to where, you go through these stages where you do, and I'm definitely not perfect in this, but I am a type of person because I love intellect that, I got to a point to where I was so used to, so to speak, I'm still their father, but I'm so used to being a father telling them everything that it did get to a point where my sons would be like that. My son was like, dad, like when we getting ready to say something to you, already getting ready to shut it down and just like, no. And I'm like, okay, he said that. I'm like, you're courting. I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt a little bit of, wait, what, dude? Like, I'm already getting ready to say no to him on that. So I'm like, okay, all right, well, go ahead, break it down. Tell me what you're talking about. Well, I think that you still think that we like, 11, 10, 13 years old, whatever like that. Because when we come to you about something, you already going, no. And you're not really trying to hear out why we trying to say what it is. I mean, even if you do disagree with, can you at least hear why we think that? And that's when it hit me. Oh, they want me to know why they think that versus me just shutting it down. And I'm like, okay, so now that part right there was another growth process as being a father, that now when they come to me, it's like I have to turn that switch off. They're not kids anymore. They are grown adults with a certain mindset, and they think I taught them to think like that. I taught them to challenge me, and if they do come and challenge me in a certain thought process, instead of shutting it down because I'm not talking to kids anymore, it's more like, all right, and even if we do get to a point and I tell them to break it down, and I'm like, now check this out. Look at this right here. See, that's where you was wrong at. But it used to be a time to where it was like, I'm just like, boy, just stop. No, because you were too young for me to try to break it down and him to understand it. But now they're understanding. And I actually like, I like it. I like it. I like being challenged because, again, people, I think a lot of times don't ever think that you are so smart enough and so intellectual enough that nobody can tell you anything. And that's one of the problems people have. I love, if you can teach me something and show me something, that's going to add more weapons to my arsenal. And that's the way I look at it from anybody. I don't care what the age is.
And
my dad doesn't argue with me. Shout out. My dad doesn't argue with me. He doesn't like confrontation. He's more of a exchanging of thoughts type of guy, exchanging of ideas or exchanging, like, let's build off of this. Let's not just go back and forth and try to find out who's right type of thing. So he's always willing to listen to the new game that I got. And especially I've been trying to keep his mindset to a certain extent, because I think, you know, he's not into this space. If you're in this space, you're more often than not with a certain mindset, and this space ain't that big. So the majority of the population of men have more of a meek, I would say, mindset where they just go with the flow of life and things just happen. And I think I kind of try to put more vision and purpose back to my dad's life in a sense. I'm like, hey, I get, you know, you have kids and you're 40, but even this whole T community thing invading the kids, like, you're not very aware of that. You kind of being lackadaisical and understand that you put your daughter and my newborn, you know, I have literally a 3-year-old sister and a 1-year-old brother. And I'm like, nigga, you got to think about all this type of stuff now. Like, you can't be getting lax. And then you talking about your new wife and the dynamics of that, nigga. You got to think 40 hours a week shouldn't be your goal, like certain things. And then I'm also teaching him other ways how to make money that he doesn't have to put so much work. He's an artist, and his wife did writing for school, so she knows grammar and all that shit. Told him to illustrate some kids books. Make a couple kids books based off your own kids, yada yada yada. Drop 2 a year or something. In 10 years, you got like 20 books out, just making money. I'm like, I'm just trying to push some new on him instead of the old game where they tell you just have one job and save a lot. I tell them multiple streams of income game. You know what I mean? Things like that. So that's cool. And he, you know, he listens, and I listen.
That's what's up.
I got a question to ask.
Listen to his old game about taxes and insurance and other things like that. So no, I cut out. I'm done. Yeah, he has old game. Like, you guys got old game that still works. So I listen to all of that I don't know and how to be a man in the real world type of thing.
But what's going on, Kay?
Yeah,
and then we're gonna go back to the video.
I got a question to ask the panel. What do you do if you have a parent that doesn't continue the education as an adult? Like, they just as like, all right, so me growing up, my father's a Caribbean immigrant. I'm like first generation, and he's a plumber, or he was a plumber, and he didn't really continue his education afterwards. So for me and my brother, it seemed like we got kind of smarter than him in certain ways. It was hard to like come to him for certain things.
Two things.
And wait, hold on. Let me finish. Wait,
no, go ahead. That's basically.
I was just saying
the question.
The last thing you said, you're supposed to be smarter than your parents. You're supposed to evolve based on what they set for you. And then the second thing, if they're not willing to quote unquote grow, in my opinion, like one of my parents, my dad is, my mom's not. It is what it is. But if that's what it is, you just love them for who they are and work with what you got. I more so don't focus on the things you can't control and focus on the things you can control. And they grown as adults, so they're gonna do what they want. You can only lead a horse to water. You can drink it. So just keep living the life you live and live by example. And hopefully,
I wanted to say it's not that we're necessarily like more intelligent than my parents. It's like it's the critical thinking part. It's the things that we need when I'm trying to like get questions. If you're not going to think deeply about things, then I can't really ask you for certain.
Can you give an example? Because initially, real quick, what I want to say is this: like, I think it's a misnomer. Yes, I agree with you, Sway. Eventually, you are supposed to be speak, right? But generally speaking, that takes a while. Depending on who your parents are, that may take a while for you to be able to be smarter than them, because a lot of times your parents might have learned from experience, which experience sometimes is the best teacher, right? And so if you're not a child that has listened to everything that your parents said based on their experience and then was able to maneuver based on their experience and then piggyback on that and then get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, then it's going to take a while for you to outwit or outsmart your parents. I will say that.
Right, so now I'll give you an example. I'll give you a slight example. Oh, you asked for an example.
Okay. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, go ahead, Kay. And then I want to answer it, and then Paulo. Go ahead, Kay.
All right, so you guys asked for a slight example. I'm gonna just use like growing up in school. My dad, he didn't really go to any of my parent teacher conference, and I was I wasn't very academic, but I still wanted him to come to school, but he didn't understand the school system because he's not from here. He immigrated here, so he didn't understand the school system. So I would have to like learn it myself and kind of like tell him how things is going in the like get my report card and just explain like a lot of like things that I came to know just being in the system of like the educational system and like stuff like that. It's just like he's not dumb. He's just from a different culture.
He's not right. So he's not aware of the customs of this particular. And so and that does not make you
a lot
dumb.
of kids are like that because we still have an immigrant connotation where a lot of kids have immigrant parents and they either not really that articulate in English or stuff like that. It's kind of like a different experience.
Right. And so, hey, to answer the person's question, I'm the host. How y'all doing? And secondly, so that doesn't make that parent dumb because
that's
you
what I was
are
saying,
more acclimated to the culture because you're a first generation American. Let's just say, for lack of a better word, you're a first generation American. They come from a different culture, a different place. They don't necessarily speak the language as well. They don't necessarily understand the ideology or the customs of the place that they're at as well. That doesn't make them dumb or less equipped to train you or teach you. It just means that you know a little more of the nuances to the place where you're at. And I think that that's a really misnomer about the people who were enslaved. And I don't really want to go all into that, but I would like to say this briefly. I think that that's a misnomer about the people who were enslaved in the Americas because they didn't speak the English language. They were not well aware of the English mindset or how they maneuvered or what they did. So it was a misnomer that they were dumb or uneducated, and that was not the truth. They just were not acclimated, nor were they aware of the customs or the traditions of the people who colonized or took over. But what would you like to say, Paulo? Paulo first, and then
man,
this I'm trying to respond to what you and Kay just said.
Wait, hold on. Let Paulo
bring clarity to the conversation.
So you sound like you got to get it off your chest. So go ahead.
Well, I'm just trying to bring clarity to the conversation because Iz keeps bringing up more of like the experience aspect of knowledge. This conversation with Kay already, and Kay is more on the like educational side, like in being more introspective about life and like deep thinking. He's not talking about things you like necessarily live through, more so on like why is the world the way the world is? How does matter work? What does this computer do? Like he's more technical, like he likes not like educational conversations.
It's more so can I clarify myself? It's kind of the conversation between the generations. Like you guys grew up in a different world than we did. The kids who are 13 right now were born in 2010. Think about that. 2010.
What do you think is so different? I'm just curious, Kate. What do you think is so different? What's so different about the world now than what it was when I grew up? Let's just say.
So your parents might have grew up in a time where television was the new medium, the new technology that people gravitated towards. Before that, people used to get the information from the radio. They used to listen to election debates on the radio and X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 and this and that. So the medium that the kids are learning from today is social media, right? Where your generation might have got influenced by television. And then your parents might have got influenced by the radio or, stuff like that. So those technologies are shaping different types of realities throughout the generations.
Okay.
In the future, we're going to have AI that will be teaching our kids. That's a different form of medium of getting information. So you see how the progression of how we get information is changing.
Yeah, but I'm
getting to like
no, Paulo. But where I disagree with you and where I disagree with the premise is the game doesn't change. Human nature doesn't change.
I knew you were going to say that.
Let me finish. Wait, humans evolve. you don't, Sway.
I
First
can
of all,
break it
first
I
of
can
all, you
break it
gotta
down.
let me. First of all, I can speak for myself, right? Secondly, I don't need you to interrupt me or interject me because I didn't interject or interrupt you.
Y'all did
So,
that multiple times.
so what I'm saying is that the game doesn't change. So yes, technology changes. Yes, yes. You know what I'm saying? There might be different forms of you know, there's AI now. Before, you know, okay, it was television. Before that, it was radio. However, human nature, how humans are, does not change. It's something that's been around for thousands of thousands, if not millions of years. And they have been who they are. Like, for example, women still go around in groups. They go to bathrooms together. They go and they socialize together in groups. Don't you know that they've been doing that for thousands and thousands of years? Men, generally speaking, don't look into each other's eyes when they communicate. They sit and they talk to you, their homeboy. If they're right face to face, they'll be like, yeah, like and talk. And they don't really go look eye to eye or communicate. That's been something that has been throughout thousands and thousands of years. So what I'm saying to you is, in the nature of men and women, men getting together with women and creating babies, that has happened for thousands and thousands of years. So yes, technology is here. Yes, technology does evolve. Yes, it is evolving. At the same time, the game, the life of human beings, generally speaking, is pretty much the same. We're born, we live, and we die. That's the life cycle of a human. We're born,
I agree with
we
everything you
live,
said.
and we die. And that's been like
I'm gonna let
that
Sway
for
go, though.
generations and generations. Besides that, there's been a summer, a winter, a spring, and a fall for generations and generations and generations. So it's not really as different as y'all think that it is. The technology might be different, but the life cycle of a human being and the things that are actual important to human beings don't change. Go ahead, Paulo.
I think Sway wanted to go.
No, Paulo was next.
I want to speak to what you were saying earlier, Kate, in terms of you're a son of an immigrant father, and there is a big gap in terms of relations into the difference of era. And the reason why that's such an awesome question, because I get asked this so many damn times by young men here in New Zealand. And one of the things that we talk about is that we as men have to accept, by understanding the extent of our father's capabilities. What I mean by that, they're not going to understand your world, and you're not going to understand their world. But it's on you, because you're now aware of just how far ahead or how far that gap is. You're the one who's aware of it. You have to understand the difference. And oftentimes, this is the thing as young men, oftentimes we revere our fathers as the heroes in our stories up until the point that we shed those sparkly eyes that we have and the thoughtful eyes that we have of our fathers. And then we recognize and realize in the real world, God damn, my dad wasn't the hero that I thought him to be. And that level of disappointment comes to all men when they realize that. So a big part of our work is that you have to accept that our fathers have a limitation to their capabilities. From that point is that we start reanalyzing the patterns. So what Israel was talking about is that the outcome for most people is still the same, regardless of what generation they come from. The outcome is still the same. We want to live a fulfilled life in some form of happiness through it. And when we go to our deathbed, we want to smile before, the lights turn out, right? It's very linear. But the difference is that it's like maths, and this is why I love maths in the side of it, is that maybe the generation before used to 2 + 2 is 4. But now this generation is trying to figure out how to get 4 out of 0 + 4, right? The outcome's still the same, but the way that we use formulas to achieve that is what's changing. So there's still a linear journey in terms of the experiences that we may face and how we derive conclusions from it. For you, Kay, the difficult part is that now you realize you have to stand on your own 2 feet and find a world and discover it on your own. That your father might not be able to walk that journey with you. And this is a very
by middle school, I realized that middle school.
Yeah.
When I started learning trigonometry and fucking pre-cal and all this, like, because you know me, Paolo, I'm an engineer, so
yeah,
I was, and yeah, it wasn't even just like that part of it. It was just the other parts, the customs part, like Israel said. Trying to drag him to my parents' teacher conference. He didn't even want me to go to college. He was against college. My stepmother had to force him to make me go to college. Stuff like that. It's like,
yeah,
I get it.
A big part of a young man's rite of passage is letting go of his father's hand.
Yeah, no doubt.
And as a father, should be proud to actually be able to let them go and be able to apply everything that you taught them, because you got to do it. Like, you know, it's when you get to see, and even though my son's in, because the thing is, I got a different strategy than what a lot of people do. I'm not part of a certain mindset to say, you get 18, you get out of my house. No, my sons them know, and I taught them since they were kids. You can leave my house when you want to, but it's smarter to leave the house when you're getting ready to get that wife of yours and get into y'all own place. Otherwise, they go to school and, you know.
MRM, is that your mic got cut off? I don't. Whoa. The mic. MRM, hold on, MRM, your mic. Wait a second. It's your mic. Your mic is down. Hey, yo, let me let Sway. Go ahead, Sway. And then after Sway, MRM, and then I'm gonna close out. Go ahead, Sway, real quick. You know, while MRM is getting his thing together.
I think that the way you responded to this when I'm trying to respond to you earlier about the whole case situation is a proven fact as to why there's a disconnect. Because in that instance, you only seem like you just wanted to disagree. You didn't want to really understand or have the conversation. Because
let me say this. I wasn't disagreeing. I understood where he was coming from. I wasn't disagreeing. I was just stating the other side of it. I understand where he's coming from.
You did disagree. You think that
test.
You think that the world didn't change.
Yeah,
you don't think that you don't think that the world that the kids are growing up now is different from the world you grew up in. So that's
right. Let Sway finish. I didn't want to cut him off. I was just saying I don't aesthetically disagree with you, K, just to be disagreeing. I do think that the world is still the same overall. But go ahead, Sway.
Like I said, you just wanted to disagree. You had your own mindset on what you think, and that's it. You don't actually want to learn and know nothing. Because if you did, you wouldn't have honed on K when you know I'm the youngest one on the panel, and you would have asked me the same question to actually try to garner understanding. But you didn't want that. So, like I said, I'm not a dumb nigga, and I can see through it all. And this is why we kind of go back and forth, because you don't really want to give game. You just want me to listen to you. Like, you're not trying to have a conversation and get an understanding of where we come from. You just think that you're right, and that's the disconnect automatically. We're not going to listen to you because you think you're right.
Are you talking to me specifically?
Yes, I'm talking to you specifically.
Okay.
You specifically. Because in that instance, I was trying to explain to you on what he meant, on what you meant, so it can bring clarity to the conversation instead of you guys fighting on two different points. Because that's if you're talking two different points, of course you're going to disagree because you're not arguing the same thing.
So you was trying to tell me what I meant.
When you said K, to clarify the conversation, because the way you were going was leaving it up to no nuance. It was just a blanketed statement. The fact that the summer, fall, winter comes, I knew you were going to say all these things, and I could have easily used a basketball analogy to break it down. You think the same game in the 60s can correlate to the now? The fact that they had no three-point line, the game evolved. I can break it down to society. 200 years ago, people weren't going off to college. They were getting a fourth grade level and going working on a farm.
Okay, but the people,
life is still life, but the game and the nuance of
that's not the game.
Is complete.
That's not the game. That's where you're mistaken at.
You said you don't interject. You said you don't cut off. The nuance of life changes.
Hold up. Wait, say like. Let him finish. Say like. Let him finish. Let him finish. Say like. Go ahead.
Y'all old niggas got it because y'all.
No, go ahead, Sway. I'll let you finish. I'm letting you finish.
The nuance of life changes over time, and when we're talking about the nuances of the experiences that we're actually going through, y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all say, "Oh, well, the sun is going to come up, the sun is going to go down, and life is just." Yeah, we already fucking know life is going to be life. You don't want to listen. You just want to be right.
Well, okay. So hold on. I hear what you're saying, and it seems that you have a lot of animosity built up and a lot of tension built up, or whatever the case may be, and that's cool. The thing of it is that it's not about. I did listen when Kay was talking. I let Kay talk. I didn't interject. I heard him out, and then I asked him a qualifying question to understand where he was coming from. Just because I don't agree with your premise does not mean that I'm not listening. Like I've stated on another panel, part of the thing that had made me successful as being a salesman, which was my trade, and I was a top salesman everywhere I went. The reason why is because I'm an active listener. I listen better than most people. And what I'm saying to you is I'm listening to what he's saying. I just don't agree. I know for a fact that the game never changes. The nuance is not the game. The nuance is the nuance. Yes, external situations change. Absolutely. Yes. Technology changes. Absolutely. And evolves. Yes, even we as humans evolve. Absolutely. At the same time, the framework of the game itself never changes. It always stays the same. There's going to be babies that's born. There's going to be babies that die. There's going to be seasons, and the seasons are going to come and go. The earth is still going to rotate the way it rotates. The moon is still going to rotate.
Sway wasn't. I thought she was done.
Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish.
I thought she was done.
Let me finish what I'm saying. So, being that there's forces, there's systems in place that have been in place for millions and millions of years around the earth, around the world and around the earth, and that's the game. So when you ask about the game, or when you're talking about the game never changes, just the players do. The players are the only thing that changes, not the game. Now, yes, there are nuances that change. Yes, there's technology that changes, but the game never changes. Go ahead.
That's so redundant to what Kay had been saying. That had nothing to do with Kay and his dad and anything. Like I said,
yeah,
you just wanted to be right. And you brought the sales example, bro. I'm in sales too. The whole point of talking to people and listening is so they agree with you. It's not for you to actually come to some rational conversation about what they got going on.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not a successful salesperson. You are not a successful person, and you don't know what you're talking about
right now, bro.
You don't know what you're talking about. That's
Everybody
wrong.
else is 40 and below. I got an 80%, and you telling me
absolutely wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
That's absolutely wrong,
shit, bro. Don't talk to me.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know
what
you're talking about.
You want to bring up lived experience? I'm literally staying in my department. 80% close.
I'm gonna be a little bit calm. I'm gonna be a little bit calm in my approach.
You ain't the only one in sales, nigga.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You just like to be right.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Hold up for a second. Hey, Sway, hold up for a second. Sway, hold up for a second. So, hey, Izzy, did you get that thing I sent you?
Yeah, I appreciate you. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead and just load that.
Hold on real quick. I got you. Hold on. I got you. Nah. We gonna let Sway rock. Don't use it.
I needed my song, G. I needed my song, dog.
Oh, your song. Which
yeah.
one? The intro song or which one?
My dream. My dream. I'm living my dream with Brody.
I got you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I got you. Hold on. Go ahead. You can rock, and I'll find your song for you. I got you.
Yeah. So, Sway, it's a lot of young brothers who have that same mindset, right? Just like you and Casey. And I get it because I encountered it for 10 years straight when I was mentoring young men, right? And I think the answers, or I want to be respectfully when I say this. I think the things that y'all are seeking, right? Y'all have already approached the question with your own answer, right? And I'm not saying that you're incorrect, but and I'm not saying that you are, so don't take it this way. But you have to have an open mindset to be able to indulge in information that you may not be privy to, even if you already heard it. You see what I'm saying?
It's not a big brother, little brother thing. We were just arguing.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Sorry, because I agree with Sway. Oh, my bad. Right. I got a little delay. My bad too.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I agree with Sway when he said you kind of brought up a different point. We do acknowledge that humans are kind of the same when it comes to relationships, but that wasn't my point.
I wasn't talking about relationships.
No, you said humans don't change. The game don't. The game you're talking about is human relationships.
No, that's not what I'm. See, that's what
I thought you was.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about.
We don't got to go that deep into it again, but it was Sway was kind of right. You kind of, I guess we both talking about different things, so he is still kind of right about that then, because we're misinterpreting each other, I guess.
Yeah, no, because you saying what I got from it was you were saying that basically you're first generation American, right? Your father's an immigrant, and there's a lot of things that you know that your father doesn't know, and like you have a lot more knowledge than your father has, right? That's what you were saying, right?
In certain areas, yes.
In certain areas, yes. So what I was saying to you is, and you were saying that the world now, and then one of you, either Sway or you, and I don't want to confuse it, was talking about how the world is different now. I think it was UK. The world is different now than it was when we was growing up, right? That's exactly what you said.
And then I gave my example too.
Right. So hold on.
Using technology. Yeah.
I got you. And so what I said addressed exactly that. See, I used just now, let me just say it. Just now, I used your exact words to let you know that I'm really listening to what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Hold on, Will.
Yeah, me and you, we on the same page.
So when I responded,
I'm gonna be a little bit more calm than Sway, because Sway.
No, it's okay. Okay. When I responded, Kay, I responded to what you said. You just might not have caught what I was saying, but I responded to exactly what you were talking about, and it was a different nuance. What I'm saying is that yes, your father may be an immigrant, and your father may not have the experience or the knowledge of what it's like to grow up in America. And yes, you might know some things about America, American culture, and so forth and so on that your father does not know. However, with that said, a lot of times, and I can't speak for your father because I don't know your father, but what I'm saying is a lot of times with older people, because of the experiences that they have a lot more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that than people give them credit for. But just because they can't relate to certain things that you can relate to, a lot of times their knowledge, wisdom, and experience gets discredited. That's the point that I was trying to make.
Can I clarify just one more point about the technology part?
Absolutely.
The reason why I believe the game has changed a little bit is because of the way people are meeting each other for relationships. So the starting point is like different. So before, in your days, I'm just gonna guess, you guys had like social gatherings,
the mall,
school dances, the malls. Like they don't got malls like that no more.
Clubs.
We got Amazon, stuff like that. So like that's what I was saying. Social media, the social part of like meeting each other is changing. It changed. It's not even changing. It's changed. It has changed, and it's probably going to change in the future. That argument right there means that kind of proves that the game has changed.
No, the game,
because if the way people are meeting change, the way people are meeting has changed.
I got you.
Then if people are meeting through dating apps and stuff like that, that's a different way of meeting each other.
But that's not, the game hasn't changed. You still got, in order to have a baby, right? A man and a woman still get together. You have intercourse, and then you have a baby. Now,
when they're you see, this is the part Sway's talking about. You're like putting that. We get that part.
So that's what I'm telling you. So, but what I'm saying to you is this:
you don't need to tell us